And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Hey folks, today we're taking a look at a game called Arcadia. It has an interesting size box. I'm not really sure why they chose this box. It has a bunch of cards in it, but it's about amusement parks, and I love amusement parks. And I think that's a great theme for a game. I think it's an underused theme for a game, so let's hope this game is good! In the middle of the table, you're going to have three rows of cards. You have job cards, and you'll have some place face up here, expert cards, and attraction cards. Now, there are many different icons in this game, and the job cards are going to show one or two of those icons on them. The experts will show 3 and 4, and then the rides, which is what you're trying to build, will show icons plus a number. So, for example, if I want to build here this ring toss, I'm going to need 1 of the green balloon icon and 3 of the duck icons. So, on a player's turn, they have different choices they can do. They can take 2 job cards. You can take from the face-up ones, or you can take a face-up one and a face-down one, or 2 face-down ones. The cards are not replaced till the end of the turn. Or you can take an expert card. If you do that, though, you simply get 1. And again, you can take from the face-up or face-down. If you don't like any of the cards, you can wipe them all and draw 4 new cards for each of these rows. However, you then get to draw 1 job card and 1 job card only, a face-up or face-down one. You can also build an attraction. If you have the icons, you can play the cards that match those icons and build that attraction in front of you. Now, you do need to notice that many of the cards here, like this person here, has 3 circus tents, but for shows or food attractions only. This guy, the food vendor here, is for food attractions only. And so you can build these. Now, some of these, when you build them, are going to be worth points. They're all going to be worth points in a game. Some of them will provide, this one here gives you a duck, and you can always use that duck when building new ones. It's like a free resource that you have. Some give you a special ability that you get. You will notice that this is a level 2. You can only build a level 2 if you have a level 1 of the same type. So this is a food level 2. I can only build that if I have a food level 1 in front of me. So let's find a food level 1. Here we go. An ice cream. So if I had an ice cream, I could then also build now the custard stand. The same thing with the rides, the midway games, and the shows. And you'll note that there's all sorts of cool different things that you can build. Every single one of these is different. Some of them give special abilities, some give multiple icons, and some just give a ton of points. You don't need to match the same kind of thing. Like if I build a roller coaster 2 for my level 3 ride, it doesn't have to be a roller coaster 3. It could be the carousel 3 if I want to. And then you can go all the way up and build a level 4 things, which are worth many points at the end of the game. Now, whether you buy one of these or not, let's say you don't buy a ride on your turn, then this one is taken away, they all move over, and another one's added. It keeps the game flowing, and at the bottom of this deck is the year-end card, and when that comes up, you're going to score for all your rides. And then you'll also move, there's a card here to keep track of each year. Each year will get shorter because there'll be fewer ride cards in the deck, and at the end of the 4th year, you will score your rides again, and at the beginning of the game, you will have drawn 2 of these cards, these Carney Critic cards, which, by the way, is a great name for a game. And these will give you bonus points. Like this one gives you 2 points for every level 1 show and level 1 food. And then 3 points for every level 2 show and level 2 food. This one here gives you points for every ride attraction that you have. So you draw these at the beginning of the game, and those will give you bonus points. You're also allowed during the course of the game, instead of taking a card, you can always take one of these attraction cards. Without building it and putting in your hand, you can store 2 cards and build them when you want to. And that's it. Whoever has the most points after the end of year 4 is the winner of the game. When I set this game up and we put out the cards and everything, I said, it's like a card version kind of a Ticket to Ride. And then I was like, we collect the different resources, and there's the okay resources, those are the jobs, and the good resources, the experts, and you build the things, and you have the rides that you build. It's like, wow, this is simple, and this is fun. And for the first couple minutes, I was like, yeah, there's nothing new and different here, but I like it. But Then I realized, and I didn't realize it right away because it was written small at the bottom, that the cards had requirements on them. Like a 2 food, my guy might say, can only work in a food booth with the 2 different icons. Well, that makes sense, right? The problem is that was so restrictive that it actually made me dislike the game tremendously. And there's 2 reasons for that. One is basic just annoyance. Okay, so in games like this, you're collecting cards. And the game didn't say there was a limit on hand cards, so I'm assuming you can have as many. So you're collecting cards, okay. So you sort the cards out by types. So I need 3 for this, 3 for that, and 2 for this to build this ride. But then not only get to sort them out by types, but you have to look at the bottom because half the cards have these restrictions on them. So these can only be used on midway rides. These can only be used on food. So let's put those over here. These, that took so long. And there's a rule that you can use 4 of the same kind, or 3 of the same kind to make a wild of any type. Do you know how many times in this game that I have overbuilt? I've used like 9 different symbols as wilds simply because it was easier to do that than to actually pay the normal resources because of all these restrictions. It was so frustrating and annoying. Well, the other reason is I went and looked at the numbers, and I've looked at them, and I'm not an expert mathematician, but I like to have a good feel on when I think a game's numbers are correct, and here I don't think they are. Let me show, for example, when I look at these cards here, here's a safety inspector, and they give 2 yellow ducks. That's for ride attractions only. Well, that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to look for the 2 yellow ducks. Here's one, food vendor, for food attractions only. So that's it. There's a 2 ducks for food attractions and a 2 duck for ride attractions. There is not a 2 duck for midway, and there's not a 2 duck for, what's the other one, show. So that's fine, but ducks equally appear on everything. So a show or a midway that requires ducks is actually harder to build because these cards don't work for that one, and it makes the other ones. So you have to kind of know this, which you'll never do, and they don't make those rides cost, give fewer points. That's a big problem, and I felt like that just really hampered the game, and some things were better than others, but there's even worse. 2 of the attractions, and these are low attractions. They're not hard to build. They're level 1s or 2s. Take away these restrictions off the cards. Oh my, that's so powerful. Whoever gets that will likely win, especially if they get it early. And once you know it's in the game, that's all we did was look for those. I want it, because that was more important than any other card. Wow, those were too powerful. And because of that, that ruins the game. The game is fine. I love the theme. The artwork is fantastic. Drafting the cards, taking the cards, putting sets out. It's simple, it's fun. But these restrictions honestly break and ruin the game for me. And I wanted to like it. I like everything else. You say, Vasel, why not just take the restrictions off? If you take the restrictions off, the job cards become much better than the expert cards because you can get 2 on most of them, 1 or 2, but they give you the exact things you want. And so you would just always take those. Also, the sweeping action where you sweep both of them and then take 1 card. I've yet to see a game where anyone has ever done that because why would you sweep and hope a card comes up when you can just draw 2 off the top? Getting 2 is better than getting 1 because you might be able to use the other one later. I've never seen anyone sweep the cards. And also that changing your ride out every turn, that's just the slightest bit annoying, but I could have dealt with that. Wow, folks, I really wanted to like this. And I'm hoping someone has some sort of fix for this because that was so frustrating for me in every version of the game. I mean, when I played with the 2, 3, and 4 players, in all 3 versions, it was just frustrating. I want to like this, but because of that, I can't. Dice Tower Judgment, I wanted to like it.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door!